I have great pleasure in welcoming the Prime Minister of the Republic of Moldova, and I invite him to address the General Assembly.
Mr. President, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, I am most delighted and indeed honored to represent for the first time my country on this high rostrum and to address the General Assembly at this anniversary session. Mr. President, the 70th anniversary of the signing of the UN Charter gives us the opportunity to learn lessons from the past and to reflect on the ways and means we need to face today's and tomorrow's challenges and build together a better future for the next generation. We are all proud that today the UN remains the leader in maintaining peace and security, promoting sustainable development and human rights. The organization also durably stays at the core of the effective multilateralism, and the prominent confirmation of this is the outcome documents of the UN Summit of the adoption of the post-2015 development agenda, held a few days ago here in New York. I have a great pleasure to highlight in this respect that throughout the entire preparatory process and during this summit, the Republic of Moldova has advocated for the adoption of a new development roadmap and concerns the present and the future of our planet. The integration of the economic, social, and environmental pillars of the new framework agenda is the key to an old issue that the UN has debated along the years about the essence of sustainable development and how to put it in practice. With the new Agenda 2030, the UN and its member states are engaging in an advanced model of sustainable development for humanity and will address poverty, inequality, and combat climate change. We support the UN and member states' initiatives and actions directed to addressing climate change through ambitious measures to promote clean power at national and international levels. We believe that if everyone put their shoulders to the wheel, we would be more likely to reach the targets and create a better world. The Republic of Moldova brings its own contribution to the effort. The Sustainable Development Goals make an important chapter in the governing program for the next years. Among many years, and the aim of increasing the ratio of domestic renewable energy consumption to 20% by 2020 and promoting green economy. My country is on track to ratify the low-emission development strategy, and during the Paris Conference of UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, the Republic of Moldova intends to support the EU's mechanism for reaching these goals. Moreover, the implementation of the EU-Moldova Association Agreement, included last year in Brussels along with the deep and comprehensive free trade area, DCFTA, as its component part represents the strategic direction which complements our sustainable development efforts. The EU agenda and the UN commitments to go hand in hand and embody our affiliation to the universality of goals and responsibilities for development and peace by way of embracing the European core values and principles and strengthening our partnership in the region. Mr. President, the first anniversary of the association agreement with the EU entities entitles us to assert that the progress achieved in different fields confirm once again the veracity of the choice made by Republic of Moldova in its way forward, the European integration. The gradual implementation of the association agreement and the creation of this FTA zone brought us politically and economically closer to the EU and helped us to to advance in development and modernization of the country and of the Moldovan society in the spirit of European and universal values. Although, in view of its positioning and dimensions, the Republic of Moldova does not often manage to influence the international agenda, our migration managing experience gained during implementing the action plan for liberalization, the visa-free regime, and the mobility partnership allowed us to become, inter alia, an important voice in the global forum for migration and development and the discussion of the UN post-2015 development agenda. Nevertheless, a lot remains to be done. Reiterating the assumed commitment of the Republic of Moldova to continuing reforms and bringing the country into the big European family, we are fully open for a further efficient dialogue with our European partners on the implementation of our priorities, the macro-financial stabilization, the reform of the judiciary and prosecution systems, the fight against corruption, and also deepening the reform on the public administration, education, and social areas, as well as the consolidation of the cooperation in the ensuring energy security and the interconnection of the transport network. The achieved progress came with the help of our development partners, and we are grateful to the European Union and its member states, especially to our neighbor, Romania, and to the United States, for their continuous financial and technical assistance and for the unprecedented political support. For the same perspective, in reaching the strategic objectives of the European integration and of sustainable social economic development of the country, we also count on the support of all development partners and the UN funds, programs and special agencies. In this respect, the cooperation and assistance programs with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and World Bank being of invaluable importance for my country. We firmly believe that with the support and assistance of our development partners, we will firmly pursue the path of European integration. Mr. President, the world we live in is becoming increasingly turbulent and unsafe. Illegitimate use of military force and other forms of violence are widely used by states and non-state actors as a means to promote their interest. Gross violations of international law and dramatic decrease in the trust between the states have already undermined the central pillars of the international system. Regretfully, after a period of relative stability, the system of security and cooperation in Europe has been seriously shaken. The annexation of the Crimea by the Russian Federation, in a flagrant violation of the international law, and the outbreak of the armed conflict in the eastern regions of the Ukraine have directly challenged the international peace and security. These major negative developments brought back to our agenda the fundamental questions: what should be done to restore order and ensure respect for the norms and principles of the international law? Search for the answer will take time, but this exercise is very much needed. In the meantime, it is critical to bring the military hostilities in the Donbas region of Ukraine to an end. Continuation of the conflict will cause more suffering, more victims, and more destroyed infrastructure. There is one simple truth to be kept in mind: the longer a conflict goes on, the harder it is to find a sustainable solution. In this respect, the Republic of Moldova supports peaceful settlement of the conflict in Donbass in accordance with Minsk agreements and respecting sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. We express our solidarity with the Ukrainian people at this difficult time. The Republic of Moldova has also gone through a conflict. For over 2 decades, my country has been divided as a result of the Transnistrian conflict. But in spite of the external and domestic challenges, the Republic of Moldova will firmly follow the way of peaceful settlements of this conflict. Through restoring trust and promoting dialogue, we should move step by step to a comprehensive resolution of the Transnistrian conflict. The solution should be based on respecting sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Moldova, identifying a special status for the Transnistrian region within the internationally recognized borders of my country. We express hope that all external partners will undertake efforts for advancing the conflict resolution process towards this goal. Additionally, we reiterate our firm position with regard to the imperative of withdrawing Russian military forces and ammunition from the territory of Republic of Moldova in accordance with the constitutional provisions of my country and international commitments. In the same context, we believe that the existing peacekeeping operation has fulfilled its mandate and needs to be transformed into a civilian mission with a relevant international mandate. Mr. President, the Republic of Moldova fully supports all measures taken by United Nations in the field of combating international terrorism, promoting disarmament and non-proliferation, and pleads for the active participation for all member states in their implementations. My country ratified and our delegation deposited these days the ratification instrument of the Arms Trade Treaty to the Secretary General. This treaty should not only ensure transparency and accountability in transfers of conventional weapons, but it should also prevent illicit arms trafficking, especially to unrecognized separatist entities. In the context of a complex security situation in the Eastern Europe region, this is of vital importance. Being convinced that the security deterioration in our region imposes an effective mechanism of small arms and light weapons control, we have also engaged in implementing the UN program of actions of small arms and light weapons, as well supporting the relevant UN Security Council resolutions. And today, we are pleased to state that during the last 3 years, with the support of our partners, we succeeded in destroying all stocks of cluster munitions in our country and anti-personnel mines. We also share what the international community's concerns about the emergency of the new terrorist threats to our democratic values, human rights, and world peace. And a co-sponsor of UN Security Council Resolution 2178 for 2014 years on foreign terrorist fighters, the Republic of Moldova is in favor of the adoption of the appropriate measures for its implementation. In the same way, apart from the fact that the Republic of Moldova has participated for many years with military observers in the UN peacekeeping operation in Côte d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sudan, South Sudan, and Central African Republic, starting from 2014, our country has been contributing to the multinational peacekeeping Kosovo Force, KFOR, with a contingent of more than 40 servicemen. During the last year, an important progress has also been achieved in cooperating with the EU in the field of common security and defense policy, particularly by participating for the first time in the EU-led crisis management missions and operations, including the EU training missions in Mali in 2014 and the EU military advisory mission in the Central African Republic in 2015. Thus, the Republic of Moldova is transitioning from being a security observer and beneficiary to becoming an active participant and contributor to establishing security, building peace and stability in Europe and in the whole world. As a European Union associated state, the Republic of Moldova is determined to contribute to the consolidation of the European Union's position as a regional and global actor. Mr. President, when humanity is confronted with deepening crisis, causing increasing human rights implications, and the needs of people are evolving, the UN expertise and independent assessment are crucial. Especially for this reason, the Republic of Moldova welcomes the UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights' innovative approach to brief member states on new developments in a prompt manner, which will contribute to strengthening prevention and early warning. My country stands for a universal respect of the principles of international law and human rights, but stems from their indivisibility and interdependence, and believes that ensuring the efficient, real, and quick reaction mechanism for the respect and promotion of the fundamental freedoms without any exceptions is of crucial importance. Mr. President, the 70th anniversary could and should become an influential incentive for further real reforms and for the reaffirmation and strengthening the role and work of the United Nations. We welcome and support every concrete effort directed and ensuring the reform of all UN structures, including the General Assembly, its subsidiary bodies, the ECOSOC and the Security Council, with the purpose to enhancing their efficiency, effectiveness, accountability, transparency, and equitable regional representation. In this line, we particularly reiterate previously expressed position of the imperatives of the allocation of one non-permanent seat in a reforming Security Council to the Eastern European group of states, and of ensuring the equitable regional rotation in the process of the elections of the UN Secretary General by entrusting for the first time the highest position of the UN Secretariat to the national coming from an Eastern European country. Finally, Mr. President, having this privilege of congratulating the entire United Nations family with the 70th anniversary of the organizations, we express our convictions that all member states will further engage by uniting efforts and resources in confronting the new threats and challenges, those safeguarding peace, humanity, and our planet, and the founders of United Nations urged us to do, pledging to constructively contribute to the attainment of this noble achievement. My delegation and my country is confident that this anniversary session will lead to the advancement of sustainable peace and development, to the environmental and human rights protections for the benefit of the world. Thank you.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the Prime Minister of the Republic of Moldova for the statement just made, and I request the protocol to escort His Excellency.